You got everything running on yours?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Bean Can. I am Roski,
And it's me, Brandon.
and it's just us two for the day. Walrus is subbing out on this one, so we're gonna take the reins on this. There's been a lot of beans being opened this week. It's been a pretty crazy week. I know it's been a little bit since our last episode too. Um, but yeah. Well, basically, can just get her started right out. Brandon, why don't you take the lead?
Well, I don't know if anybody else has heard, but there's been a lot of talk about Chernobyl due to the HBO series Chernobyl.
Great
And it's
show, by the way. Great show.
interesting to millions of people. They all have been going out all the way to Chernobyl just to go and get content for their YouTube videos and
That's wild.
their podcasts and other Instagram photos and everything along those lines. But I read today, well, actually, it wasn't today, it was at least like a day or so ago, that there were a few scientists out there that are trying to measure the amount of radiation and how much it affects the environment and how much it changes everything around the people who are living there and stuff. So they went and took from the fields, they made a rye vodka and made it out of the radioactive crops to see how it would turn out. It was in the UK. The scientists came from, and they had went all the way to Chernobyl to make slightly contaminated rye vodka from Chernobyl's aquifers. I'm not really sure what an aquifer is, but I'm sure that other people who distill do know what that
Yeah,
is.
are familiar with the term.
Scientists are claiming that the product's completely safe to consume and that every distiller should know that all the impurities are always in the waste products and that nothing should be inside of it that's unsafe or radioactive in the slightest. I mean, I'd love to order a bottle of the stuff, but it looks like there's only been one bottle made so far at all.
Yeah, I will say the design of it is pretty cool. And for the people who are watching the YouTube video while you were speaking on it, I did show them what it looks like. It's uh, it's interesting to say the least. That's the last thing that I thought we were going to be reading about today is making vodka from the crops of
Radioactive vodka.
Chernobyl. Oh, that's wild. Like it is cool though, because I know when you were looking it up before, how you said all the proceeds are going to at least the families or people that are affected. That's really cool.
Yeah, all the proceeds and everything are going to the people affected by the uh, Chernobyl radioactive spill, if you would say.
It's crazy here too on the article that I pulled up about this. It says that because there was so much like traffic flowing in, especially from that show, so that the president of Ukraine announces the plan to make the site and surrounding areas more tourist friendly, to include new waterways and checkpoints in the area, enhanced cell reception, new walking trails, filming restrictions will also be limited or lifted. So that's pretty fucking cool. We're about
Well,
to
I
see
was
a lot.
reading too. It was saying that the area is not as radioactive as people are saying it is. It's really the real problem of the area is the economy and the fact that there's not enough doctors and stuff to take care of the people who have lived there through the situations. And they said it's pretty much almost safe to go there. There are areas that are still filled with radioactive waste and stuff like that that you can't go into, but
Yeah, which I'm
most of
assuming
it's
is like
pretty
where it
safe.
actually like exploded.
A
So
lot
they
of
don't want to
people
go
say
over
it's
there.
beautiful too. Never been there, never really want to go there, but
Yeah, just from the pictures I've seen, it's definitely different. If I knew I was safe and when I was going there, I'd totally be down with a little trip. That'd be pretty cool.
yeah, definitely. Not sure though.
Yeah,
Still a little scary.
I think I'll stick with drinking the vodka at first to see how quickly I die.
Maybe we'll grow a third arm out of our bellies or something.
Hey man, that'd be content. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be great content.
Yeah, it's
Um,
probably wild.
yeah, that's pretty much all I got on the vodka situation. There's another thing I wanted to talk about here. There's a
Yeah, spill it.
supposed missing YouTuber named Marina Joyce, and she's been missing for 10 days in North London. She was missing from. Uh, she's supposedly been found today. When she was missing, there was after 2 days of her being missing, police put out a missing persons report asking the public to help track her down and everything like that to see if they could help find her and stuff. And I guess her YouTuber slash boyfriend Brandon Mehmed. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly
It
or
looks
not,
close
but
enough to me.
he made a tweet. He's saying while she was missing, he said that everything is being dealt with in a professional manner. Please don't worry about her as she is safe and well. You have my word for that. Also, everyone who thinks I'm acting suspicious is only misinformed and don't know me at all, with a bunch of L's afterwards, which seems pretty weird.
Yeah, it's a little
It's really
strange.
weird.
A little suspect.
I mean, I don't know. He seems like that seems like a pretty weird thing, but I mean, if he's really willing to go out all of that way to write a whole tweet and everything like that with his name and everything on it, how scared and how scary could the situation have even been?
Yeah, and truthfully, this is a good way that the story did end. Most of the time, it's you don't find them for a long time, and it's definitely they're not alive anymore. It's a body somewhere in the
Yes,
ocean or something like
definitely.
that.
Lots of times it's a body. Also, Brandon said that he knew she was safe because he's been talking to her for 24 or for he's been talking to her 24/7 and said that Marina wanted to post a video explaining everything about what had happened. So, I guess he was sitting there talking to her all the time even though everyone was looking for her. He basically knew she was safe and everything was good. And I guess it's really nice of him to have like went out of his way to have said anything about it, but
Instead of just being quiet the whole time.
yeah, still, it's like, why didn't you just like
Yeah, I know.
tell
Like
everybody to stop looking because she's fine? Let
from
her
the
be.
from the little bit I read on it, like from what I heard, like Keemstar was one of the people that made me even find out about the situation. He basically just
Mhm.
said, if she is safe, as you say so, why can't she come out and make a tweet basically saying, "Hey guys, stop the search. I'm okay. I'm just doing
Yeah,
me
why
right now," or
can't
something like
she
that.
say anything?
Why did he have to speak for her? So I can understand all the distraught that people are coming from their end, just because it does seem a little suspect. But at least the story did end well for the most part, and whenever she does post that video that you had mentioned, I'm sure it will give you a little bit more context to the situation. It said that
Well,
she was,
he said he's not withholding any information, and even though he was considered a suspect, that he would like for fans to respect her privacy and leave her alone, I guess.
which is respectable to a point, but it's still kind of weird that she couldn't come out and say that. So it's kind of like
It is kind of
50-50.
weird. It is kind of weird, but there's some other things back in 2016 that Marina did that makes it seem like this is just something she might honestly just do a lot or
Yeah,
something.
reading here, basically like what you said back in 2016, she made a video called Saving Marina Joyce, where she revealed she was suffering from depression at the time of like that whole incident. So who knows? Maybe it was all for the views too. We live in a
She
day
was
and age
claiming
where that's
she
where
was
people
being
are.
held against her will and being abused with drugs. Um, with all that being said, and all the videos that she made about that, she went and had the uh, people, all of her fans were also worried that they had the authorities come and conduct a welfare check to find, which they found her completely fine and nothing was wrong with her. Right afterwards, she tweeted that everything was totally fine. And like you said, she revealed that she was suffering from depression at the time of all of her saying every bit of her being abused with drugs and being held against her will and stuff is all she claims because of depression.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, depression makes people do some pretty crazy things.
yeah, especially depending on the severity of it, and if you're not taking medication and things like that, it can get a little wild. Just feeling
Yeah,
trapped. But yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
truthfully, who knows? Maybe when she releases that video, it'll explain a little bit more, but it could all be for views at the end of the day, too. People like to use mental health and things like that for clickbait, so you never know, truthfully. It's fucked up, but hopefully that's not the way the story's going to end. At least she is
Yeah,
safe and alive, though. At least no bodily harm was caused to her.
definitely happy she was found safe and sound.
Well, on to some less lighter news about another YouTuber. She goes by the name of, probably gonna butcher this, but Brooke Houts. So this past Thursday, she sparked a fuckload of drama. So basically, she was uploading a YouTube clip, and she's just basically like this wholesome content creator that just makes videos with her Doberman. And in the videos that she's posted for X amount of years, and I believe she has like something around like 330,000 subscribers, so she's definitely well known. She always makes it seem like she's the most wholesome dog owner. She loves her dog to death, things like that. And at this day, I still don't know how you accidentally post a clip of this. She accidentally uploaded raw footage of a prank on her and her dog, where she was aggressively pushing, spitting on her dog, was just trying to basically be friendly and lovey with her owner. A lot of people are calling her out too, saying she doesn't deserve to be on the platform. Even PETA got involved, and this is a quote from PETA. This is all caps too. They said, "Dogs deserve respect. If you can't treat dogs with kindness and instead hit them, don't get one." And they later came out and said that YouTube needs to remove her from the platform. Just for context too, I'm sure most people have seen this, but I'm gonna show a video to everyone watching the YouTube. This is it right
I
here.
put plastic wrap on the door. I'm gonna have him run out. We're just gonna see what he does. I don't know. It doesn't faze you.
She just beats this dog's ass.
Well, as you can tell. Stop!
Jesus Christ.
We love you. We love you or whatever. We love you. We love you.
Dog's just trying to love up on her, and she just shoves her like she's shoving a dude off her at the club. Yeah, so that's a little fucked up in my opinion. I mean, everybody's you get to a point with your dog where yeah, there's sometimes we gotta push him off. Not ever should you be violently shoving the dog like she was, like a little jab to get out of the way, not like a punch or anything.
Smacking it.
And then holding its neck on the ground and spitting on it. That's just super fucked up. So basically, what's happening right now? This is about the most current news that I could find, at least. One of the Los Angeles Police Department, like their media representative for their channel, they said that they have received numerous complaints, and they're looking into the matter. And basically, because she's residing in California, it's basically the laws there. It says animal abuse laws are held under Penal Code 597 PC, which makes it a crime to kill, physically harm, neglect, or overwork an animal. And this penal code for animal abuse can be charged as either a misdemeanor or a felony. And excuse me, that was unprofessional. This basically just protects domesticated pets, stray animals, wild animals, and farmed animals. And if someone is convicted of this, some of the consequences can include up to 1 year in a county jail, a maximum fine of about $20,000. And it says penalties for a felony conviction in California are 16 months or 2 to 3 years in the California State Prison, and the same maximum fine. It said additional consequences are included but not limited to having the animals permanently removed from your care. This is the one that I like of it. Paying the cost associated with housing the animals from the time of seizure to the time of your conviction. Completing court-ordered counseling as a term of your California probation sentence. So basically, if they determine that Brooke was at any fault there, she's looking at could potentially be looking at some serious time and some serious fines, which personally I totally agree with. I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't necessarily think she deserves to get taken off of YouTube forever because of it. I think she deserves a ban, in my opinion, at least for like a little time period. I mean,
And the dog to probably be taken from her.
Most definitely. She does not deserve to be with that dog anymore. And she came out with some half-ass apologies that everybody called her on it. It's just a fucking mess. I mean, if you're gonna choose to own an animal and like present to everybody that you're this wholesome caretaker, it's kind of fucked up because clearly she's just doing it for the views and the clickbait. Because I mean,
It's definitely for an image.
oh yeah, I mean, if you watch even 30 seconds for any of her other videos, she is absolutely in love with this dog. And as soon as that camera light turns off, she's just beating this ass. So I hope to God, at least at the end of the day, the dog is at least taken out of that home if no like legal action is taken forward.
It just blows my mind though how this person is able to like accidentally upload this video of them just beating the shit out of their animal.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that because, like, especially with the clip that was posted, it was only like 49 seconds. And her video, I believe, was like around 3 minutes. She should have known when she was uploading it, oh shit, this uploaded a lot quicker than before. And on YouTube, it lets you, like, kind of view the video when it's done uploading. So, I don't know. Not a lot of brain cells on her part, at least for the most part, from what I can gather.
Yeah, doesn't make much sense to me.
Hopefully, like I said, hopefully the dog is taken care of at the end of the day. Um, and it's funny too, cause like everyone's usually fuck PETA, but in the last couple weeks, people have been teaming up with PETA because of that last Alinity girl who fucking threw her cat that we had discussed about before. Which still at this time, unfortunately, we got no other further news on that. I'm thinking at this point that she's kind of just gonna get away with a slap on the wrist, not even.
Well, that's how it usually goes.
Yep. So in lighter news, we got some funny Borderlands news that came up a couple days ago. So basically, Take Two, they're the owners and the developers of Borderlands. They sent investigators to a YouTuber's house about some leaks about the game. So basically, they don't say the creator's name in here either. I couldn't find it, but he basically went 2 weeks without no uploads of any content on his channel, and he's a strict Borderlands content creator. He returned to the platform, and I believe this was, I want to say it was yesterday, or this is Wednesday, that he basically came out, basically said why he was absent for the time being. So he said that the game's publisher hit his channel with several copyright strikes, and then went so far as to even send investigators to his home in response to months and months of Borderlands coverage on his channel, which included a bunch of leaks about the upcoming games in the series. And according, at least this is his apology in his video, he said, "Since I've had time to reflect on the situation, I'd say excitement got the better of my judgment." He said it was a bit of a shitty thing to do. And on Take Two's part, they basically said the YouTuber's actions were sometimes illegal and harmful to the community. They said the action we've taken is a result of a 10-month investigation in the history of this creator profiting from breaking our policies, leaking confidential information about our product, and infringing our copyrights. That was coming from a 2K game rep. And they said not only were many of his actions illegal, but they were negatively impacting the experiences of other content creators and our fans in the anticipation of the game. They didn't specifically say exactly what he did to break the law, but I'm sure he's probably a Reddit warrior. He probably found some information on there that was leaked from maybe a dev or something like that. Who knows? You can get a lot of information about like GTA and things like that too if you look deep enough. He yeah, that's just wild in my opinion. The fact that like you wake up one day thinking that you're gonna be posting these like upcoming Borderlands leaks and things like that, and you get like, I'm just gonna assume it was Suits knocking on his door, asking him about his YouTube channel.
Or like a letter in the mail saying we gotcha or something.
Yeah, that's just it's crazy because like it just blows my mind because this isn't the first time. Well, this is the first time like someone's taken this far of a step of action in it. But like, if you guys remember, like pre GTA 5 release, there was a shitload of channels that were given about a bunch of like true and untrue GTA knowledge in any game, like Rage 2, like Skyrim. I remember that was getting a shitload of leaks back in the day. Like any big ass like IP like Borderlands or something like that, you're always just gonna have people uploading that. And he must have been getting some like good hard information if they singled him out of everybody, because he's not the only person coming out with that kind of content news.
Yeah, even he's claiming himself. This wasn't info found by me. Somebody else found it.
Yeah, which is usually the way it goes. Maybe there's some devs that get fired from the company and they just post, because that's like sometimes how you find out about game leaks. Like somebody will post a job posting for a specific game. Like, I don't know. I don't think he deserved the whole investigators coming to his door. Like what Brandon said, probably like a email saying "fuck off." Essentially, that's a little bit more
Like
respectable in my opinion.
you'd almost assume like there's gotta be workers that work for these companies that are just like sending out screenshots to like their family members or their children or something saying, "Look at what I just made today" or something.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is this what this is saying. 20 minutes after the private investigators left his house, his Discord server and his Discord account were terminated. So I'm assuming his Discord was probably like strictly just for like Borderlands information and things like that, if that's what his channel was primarily focused on. So that's wild too. The fact that they even got, and this is saying, yeah, the explanation he got from an automated Discord message said his account was involved in selling, promoting, or distributing cheats, hacks, or cracked accounts. It says he got no information was provided as to who was behind the shutdown, and that they deny anything of the sort took place in this Discord server, which I don't necessarily buy. I mean, if you're like a sole game focused content creator and you have your own Discord channel, 9 times out of 10, the game that you're promoting for the most part is the game that's going to be spoken about the most. And I'm sure there was thousands of people in there that like knew little tidbits of information too, so that's probably why they got rid of it. But apparently
Yeah.
he got a hashtag trending on Twitter called hashtag boycott Borderlands 3 right after the incident. He's saying he doesn't know where his future lies with Borderlands after this incident. He says, I'm absolutely on hiatus from making videos while I figure out what to do. He said, my plan is to see how I feel come September. He says he doesn't know if he wants to play Borderlands 3 anymore, and I don't know if I want to make videos, don't know where I'm going to be at. Just want to give myself some time to decompress. I just need to step away from Borderlands, which, more power to you, man. I would want to get the fuck out of that game
I
for a little
stepped away
bit,
from
too.
them a long time ago.
Yep. We don't need to get in on that, though.
No.
But yeah, that's wild. I could just imagine, like, waking up one day and boom, like, your whole, like, career that you thought you were going to be, at least be able to set up a little bit for yourself was just over. I mean, not necessarily over, but, like, impeded on very heavily.
Yeah, it's amazing how quick that they did it too.
Yeah, I can't believe it was a 10-month investigation, too. That's insane. They must have been cracking on his ass without him realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got left for that. We'll move on to some Fortnite-related drama. So yesterday being the 9th, so there's been a lot of controversy with Fortnite this season. Season's been going on about 9 days now. Season 10 came out on the 1st. And Fortnite and the developers over at Epic Games, they decided that adding a mech to the game was the right answer, which immediately pissed people off. They announced the trailer beforehand, and if you look on the Twitter replies, people are just raging. So the thing about the mech is I believe the way it was before the nerf, and I'll get in on the nerf a little bit after I delve in on this, but basically every time a circle closes, I believe it's 2 or 3 mechs that drop in the circle. So I mean, depending on how long the game is, and if like these people in the mechs camp with the mech, you could have up to like probably like 10 mechs just charging you all at once. And the thing about these mechs is that I believe they shoot 10 rockets, all of them doing 50 plus damage, and it just fucking implodes you. It can break your builds, no problem. You can farm mats with it. You can get full max material and the public games, which is 1,000 each, so you can get 3,000 mats in probably a matter of like 5 minutes if you really try. So that completely outraged the community. And so yesterday, after a shitload of people complaining, not starting a movement yet, but complaining about the mechs, Fortnite came out. They basically said what these players that are complaining about, they just wanted the mechs at least removed from the Pro League, which is fair. Because in the Pro League, you get points dependent on placement and points, and you can easily win with a mech. Like, if you have the mech with 10 people left and, like, not all 10 people focus you, you can win very easily. It's not very difficult. Nobody can build against you. I mean, their bullets will do a little bit of damage, but you have a metal foot stomping on them, and you have rockets going their way.
Definitely.
And, like, the thing is Fortnite does these cash cups, these weekend events and things like that, and you have to be in their Champions League to get it, so if you don't have the mech, it's somewhat difficult to get in there because once you get to a certain point in Fortnite's like competitive arena, you every time you load into the game, it takes away. It's called hype, and your hype is basically what you need to get to Champions League. I believe Champions League is like 10,000 points or something like that now. So like every time you go into a game, you lose 80 hype, and you basically need to like if you die right off spawn, you're fucking yourself. You're gonna keep going back. So getting the Champions League is like a good like it's a trophy essentially. Like you made it to where like all the top streamers are, all the like the top like pro players and things like that. So like if you make it there without a mech, you're a really, really good player. The problem is that a lot of kids who don't deserve to be there are getting in there because of the mech. They were just using it, just stomping through people. I've seen a lot of videos of people in trios just getting absolutely bodied. I will say one thing in the mech's defense is if you play solos, it's very easy to counter. It's a 2-person mech, so if you're in solos and you're walking with it, someone can get into the mech, self-destruct, and basically the mech's done sauce. So like solos, it's not a big deal, but you can get into the bigger team modes, and that's when some shit can start going down. So basically, this was their genius idea. So their upcoming content patch, which is version 10.10, this is exactly what they said. They said, we've been monitoring the impact of the Brute in gameplay and are investigating ways to enhance combat feedback when interacting with the vehicle. In this patch, we will add a targeting laser that will show the direction of the Brute where it's aiming its rockets while they're being charged. This laser will have a directional audio to help indicate where it's being pointed at you. Even if you're behind a structure, we've also fixed a few mobility bugs that allow players to exploit its boost mechanic. And it said the brute remains within the core game mode, solos, duos, and squads, and select limited time modes, and in competitive arena and tournament play. And it says we'll communicate any further iterations to the vehicle as we continue to investigate a few more areas where we can improve combat interactions. And this pissed people off. One of the streamers, his name is Cypher PK. He had posted a video basically giving the best example of it. He said, what they're basically doing is, if I'm in a fight with Mike Tyson, that'd be like Mike Tyson telling me he's going to punch me in the face. It don't matter if I know where he's punching me or not. I'm still going to get hit in the fucking face. And I totally 100% agree with that. I mean, if you're at least in like the competitive modes, there's no reason why you should have a just overly OP vehicle like that. That's based, and Epic is really known for this in the past. They don't make the smartest decision when it comes to in-game items like that. So what happened was the whole community rallied together, and this is the third time that they've rallied together like this. And they basically got remove the mech trending on Twitter. About any content creator, any pro player that you could think of was getting in on this. And the only 2 times that this ever happened before is first when they added planes into the game. People fucking hated the planes. They had wanted the planes out. Eventually, Epic listened and got them out. And then during that same season with the planes, Epic decided to add a Infinity Sword, which you could farm mats with it, you could build with it, you just couldn't hold a gun, but you didn't need a gun. You hit somebody with the Infinity Blade and you're dead. Oh, and I believe you had like 800 HP combined to the 200 that the normal player is going to have. So after a while, Epic removed that from the game, as they should have. So yeah, pretty much every person that you could imaginably thought of that would ever be involved in the Fortnite scene, anything like that, it was all, I don't remember what exactly it was trending on Twitter, but I want to say it was up there in like top 10. And it was crazy. It pulled a lot of traction. A lot of news places were speaking about it. And so today would be August 10th. We got a little bit of a change. Epic still is basically putting their dick in all the pro players' mouth. So this is their change as of today. This was due to all the feedback from yesterday and them getting absolutely destroyed on Twitter. So at least for arena and tournaments, so the competitive spots, they said that we've lowered the spawn rates of the brute per storm circle and arena and tournament playlist, and they'll continue to monitor the impact of this change in advance of next week's Champion Series event. I won't go into too much of the statistics because I'm sure a lot of people might not care exactly like the chance of it coming in the game, but for right now it's like split. So you have people that are at least happy that they're acknowledging it and people that are still pissed off because it's not like they did anything. One funny thing that I will say, though, is somebody said, I like your idea, but we can fix a little bit with a slight adjustment. So, like, they had, like, 20% through the beginning of the match. Storm 1 would be 44%, and it would just drop from there. Somebody's like, how about this? Beginning of the match, 0 chance of spawn rates. Storm 1, 0 chance of spawn rates. Storm 2, 0 chance of spawn rates, and so on. That's a really upvoted comment on Reddit right now. But, yeah, basically, just sum it up. The whole community's still outraged for the most part because they just feel like Epic's not listening to them. And I totally agree with it. As somebody who's been playing Fortnite for a long time, I always have been highly vocal saying that if you're going to add things like that into the game, they should be in like a specific game mode. So the core players who actually like don't need things like that to get ahead, I guess, shouldn't have to be exposed to that. So at least for the time being, we'll see how it goes at their first like Champions League event that I believe that's coming up here within the next week. We'll delve on that in the next podcast. But yeah, that's the Fortnite world right now. Everyone's freaking out for that. And I don't blame them at all. It's not fun playing the whole game, feel like you're gonna win a game, and then all of a sudden you hear the sound of 18,000 rockets coming your way and ruining all your fun. And
I know it's ruined a lot of my fun.
And to top it off, you can emote in the mech. So these little kids that get their first kill ever, they decide to emote on you thinking that they're hot shit. It's not in a good state right now.
Yeah, you sound a little upset about it.
I'm with the people that are voting against it just because I wouldn't say I'd say I'm a casual player, but I feel like I'm a little bit more skilled than the average player, so like I hate using the thing anyways. I just want to see it gone. I just think if I'm going to get killed, you should kill me with a gun. That's just me, though. But yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we'll see how that story unfolds here in the coming weeks.
Well, you consider Fortnite a violent video game, right?
Uh, no. Just because you don't kill anybody, it just says you eliminate them. You don't see any blood or anything like that.
You don't consider it a violent video game?
Maybe the community is violent. I don't
The
know.
community can be pretty violent.
Yeah.
I know of a group of people who really think it's violent, though.
Yeah, spill it.
And that's the people who are working at Walmart. They have decided to think that it's a good idea to remove violent video game ads from all the shelves and all of the game consoles and any of the
So wait, you're telling me
ads
that
on the TV,
they're not
anything
even
like
gonna
that.
sell M-rated games and things like that in their stores anymore?
Well, there's no talk about them actually removing the games themselves,
Oh, just
but
like the displays of it, like their ads and things like that.
yeah,
Okay.
basically. And it says from an actual quote from the Walmart memo here, it says that use your best judgment on whether an element is inappropriate. If you're unsure, remove the item or just turn it off as a precautionary measure. Um, a lot of people are blaming video games for this violence that has been happening with Walmart and the recent shootings that have went on there. There's been people, including Trump, Republicans, many other public speakers that I have honestly no idea about, but they're all saying that it's influencing the gunman behind the last week's two shootings that had just happened. A lot of it has, to me, to do with the media, how they're portraying video games, how just one single person can come up on the news and just pop up and say, hey, this person played Fortnite or this person played a different shooter game or anything like that
Yeah, that's what
for
one of
6 to 8 hours of a day or whatever
Yep.
makes you a violent person.
Yeah, she came out and said, I think it was at the El Paso one. She said that it wouldn't cross my mind if this individual didn't clock about 8 hours of Fortnite a day, and that had people just
Exactly.
raging.
And I don't know. I've played lots of Fortnite and other violent video games, and I don't really ever think about going out and shooting anybody. Like that just doesn't that thought doesn't
Exactly.
cross my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah. I don't want to get too political on it, but at least my opinion of it is, if it's not necessarily the video game's fault, it's, sorry to say it, but it's the parents who don't know how to take care of their fucking kids and like punish them correctly and things like that through
Parents and
school.
the groups of individuals they're around and how everyone treats them and other things like that can highly determine things that of their future and what people are going to do later in life.
Yeah, it's sad that they have to resort to something like that, just to cause a blame. Essentially, I saw a really funny meme that said, the caveman in 1 BC when he gets blamed on violence for video games, and it was like him holding the rock, looking all confused. So that was pretty funny. But like to all the like the retort and things like that, like there was war and way more like hate crimes and things like that long before the first video game was ever even designed. So that's just a
Exactly.
whole
Where
cop
was
out.
where was Fortnite when World War One and Two and Vietnam all went on? We had a civil war between our goddamn selves
Yeah.
before video games were even invented.
Yeah, they're honestly just looking for a cop out and someone to place the blame on. A lot of publishers have came out and basically said that was a bunch of horse shit too. I know too. One of the shooters was wearing an Acacia Strain shirt. It's a pretty popular band. The lead singer of that band, it even came out and basically said it's not our fault that he purchased the shirt. We'll do what we can to help. But if anybody listens to us, that's not the kind of content that we promote. So just like people who are like affected by this and like brands that
Yeah,
were
definitely.
represented,
Just how the
unfortunately.
media will portray something so small like playing a video game or a shirt that somebody wears can determine that the thing that they're wearing and stuff like that is the reason they did that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're just looking for a
Sense?
cop out. Hopefully, these people come to their senses at some point. But knowing the day and age we live in, everyone's a fucking idiot, including me. So probably not. It's got a we
I
got
know
a
that the teachers union has threatened to boycott Walmart over the fact that they took off these ads and are still selling guns in their stores. They don't want to shop there anymore because they think that makes absolutely no sense. That they're selling the same thing that somebody walked in with and was trying to shoot a bunch of people with.
which I can totally agree with. I mean, that is stupid. Like, you're taking the thing that didn't cause any harm out, but leaving the thing that potentially did, depending on where he got it. Who fucking knows? It
Yeah, who knows if you got it at Walmart? They don't even know if it was technically an AR-15 or anything right now, according to the article I just read.
yeah, it's really sad. My thoughts and prayers definitely do go out to everybody that was affected by that. I just wish they could get to the root of the problem and not blame it on just a cop out. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that'd be a lot better than just blaming some small things.
Yeah, if anything, we could like come together as like a nation and like try to like figure it out, not just take sides. Stupid.
That's some lighter news though for Walmart. A fireman who was there, who was an off-duty fireman who was just shopping around at Walmart, and an armed shooter had walked in with armor and an AR-15 of some variant. Had walked into Walmart and was attempting to do a shooting there in Missouri. I don't know if I already said that, probably did. But the fireman had a handgun on him and had a conceal and carry permit and was the good guy with a gun and held the gunman at gunpoint until the police arrived, and absolutely nobody got injured.
Which is awesome. That's one case of why conceal and carry is an almost necessary thing in this country. If it wasn't for him, that could have ended a very, very little more negative way. A lot of people could have been killed.
He had hundreds of rounds of ammo in his pockets.
The shooter did?
Yep.
Jesus fucking Christ. And it's the most fucked up part too is that this dude decided to do this 5 days after the shooting in El Paso, which kind of like sparked everything.
Well, it starts a little bit of a domino effect when things like that happens. You just need one crazy person to go off and the rest of everybody else goes crazy.
Yeah, according to this article, they're saying his intent was obviously to cause chaos, and he did that. That's so fucked up.
Definitely.
Yeah, they also said they're gonna review security videos from inside of the store to see the man's demeanor and a possible motive. Hopefully, at the end of the day, that man gets locked up for the amount of time.
I'm busy.
But yeah, let's just say at the end of the day, I'm glad that story ended the way it did, and not a more negative way than it could have.
Definitely.
Brandon.
I'm trying to do a podcast right now.
Oh.
Thank you.
That would be Ethan, the town dumbass.
I'm gonna have to mark what time this is real quick here.
38 minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna write that in the chat.
Yeah, I think you had some more lighthearted news to touch on too as well, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit of a lighter note. I mean, actually, it's a lot lighter because it's a much happier story.
Definitely.
Danny Trio, Machete, however you want to pronounce
The
it.
Uncle and Spy Kids.
Yeah, Spy Kids. Great movie that has absolutely no point to it at all.
But a great
But
movie.
it was great. He rescued a baby in an overturned car after two vehicles collided Wednesday afternoon in Los Angeles. Trejo says that he told the news network that they were all lucky that he was there because there was a baby inside of the car and a grandma, and the only thing that saved that little kid's life, Trejo said, was the car seat that he was buckled into. Danny Trejo is like 75 years old and had gotten assistance with a young other woman who was at the area at the time, helped unbuckle the child from its car seat and was able to pull the child from the wreckage. Trejo says that the reason he does things like this and does good things is because everything good that has ever happened to him has happened as a direct result of helping someone else, everything he's ever done.
Which is like a perfect example of good karma. What a badass. What a badass real life hero.
Super badass. Only 3 people were and were sent to the hospital that day, but there were no life-threatening injuries. Cause of the accident is under investigation still, but everyone's okay, and that's all that really matters.
That's good. At the end of the day, too, thank God that little boy or little girl's parents had them locked up in their car seat, or else that story could have ended a very more negative way as well.
Definitely.
Well, on the end of that, let's just say thank God for Danny Trejo, and we'll move on to some.
Amen.
So this has been some more interesting news developing in the Twitch and now Mixer world that has gotten somewhat popular because of Ninja's decision to switch. So, I believe it was on the 1st of this month, actually, he made the announcement that he was making the switch permanently to start streaming on Mixer, which is a Microsoft-owned streaming platform. And everything seemed fine and dandy. But then that same day, Twitch, they were definitely a little spiteful of their poster boy leaving. They removed his partner verification, so his checkmark off his channel, which in my defense, I personally think they didn't do anything wrong for that. Like he's not a partner anymore. He's streaming on a different platform. He's got a contract with them and everything. But what people are kind of raging about is that, and I don't think you can see it anymore, but on that day, when you go to his page, it would say the ninja you are looking for isn't here anymore, but here are some other great Fortnite streamers, and it would share like whoever had the most viewers at that current time. So that had a little people pissed off. But what the main cause of why I'm bringing this up is they're still using him for views. So basically, his first stream on Mixer was, I don't remember exactly what day, but it was at Lollapalooza, and he was playing Friday Fortnite, which has been an ongoing like Friday weekly Fortnite event, where it's basically just a pub stomping arena. Whoever gets the most kills moves on to the next round, so forth. So he was playing with the recent Solo Cup champion Bugha, and Twitch made an ad for Bugha like on their Twitter channel promoting his stream, saying that he was playing in the Friday Fortnite event, and then also put Bugha on the front page of Twitch. And this isn't the first person that's happened to. Dr. Lupo, another famous streamer, another one in Ninja's circle. Earlier this week he was playing with Ninja, and surprise, surprise, Dr. Lupo was on the front page of Twitch. And it's basically anybody who plays with Ninja is going to get on the front page of Twitch. So like Tim the Tatman, he was playing with Ninja earlier this week too, and surprise, surprise, he was put on the front page of Twitch. But there have been some streamers coming out, speaking out about their opinion on this. One of them, being Dr. Disrespect, he was calling them out, saying they're clueless and mooching views basically off of someone who isn't even on the platform anymore. So yeah, basically for the current time, I don't really have a bunch of information on that, but we'll see where it goes. And I do know, they haven't given any names yet, but some streamers from Twitch, from what I've heard around the grapevine, they're making contracts and things to sign with Mixer. So Mixer's gonna try to pull some more celebrities on there. Because I believe prior to Ninja being on Mixer, like the average like popular Mixer streamer was averaging about like 2 to 3,000 viewers per stream. And then you get Ninja on there, and he's getting like 60K people watching him. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see like what big time streamers decide to go over there. Hopefully Twitch kind of gets their act together and promotes the people that are on their channel, so they don't, because they'll fucking lose out. Like Dr. Disrespect, he's got to be one of the biggest channels, and just like his overall, like just his persona, it's entertaining to the average viewer.
An entertainer, born and raised, it seems like.
Exactly, yeah. So hopefully Twitch gets their head out of their ass, because in my opinion, that's the dominant streaming platform. But yeah, we'll definitely fill you in as that story unfolds. And yeah, I think we'll switch it right back to Brandon.
You're coming at me when I can just throw out some more dark news, huh?
Unfortunately, yes.
All right, fine. I'll do it. You were asking for it. All right, in recent news, that Jeffrey Epstein guy who was placed on a suicide watch recently following an incident that happened in July 23rd of him attempting to hang himself in his jail cell. A little bit of a backstory on Jeffrey I guess I can give is he was a disgraced millionaire who's facing federal sex trafficking charges. He's a alleged sex trafficker of girls at his Upper East Side mansion and his home in Palm Beach, Florida. And some of these charges are even dating as far back as to the early 2000s. He's 66 years old. he's been doing stuff that has been really bad for a long time. Now he's in jail or prison for all of the allegations and stuff that he had made against him about abusing dozens of girls. He was placed on suicide watch because he hung himself, but in recent news, he just was released off of suicide watch, I guess, and taken off of there, even though just within under, I'd say, 13 days, less than, who knows, ago, he just recently tried to kill himself. They took him off of suicide watch and still left him in his jail cell. And I guess apparently he went and hung himself. And there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories going on about it, saying that because all of these millionaires knew that, or he knew that all these millionaires had allegedly sex trafficked I don't even know, sex trafficked girls. I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll cut that out. But he knew that all these guys were sex trafficking women or little girls outside of their mansions and stuff too. There was at least a dozen other millionaires that were doing it on top of just Jeffrey Epstein. And if he was going to release out all this information, people are kind of thinking that maybe he was murdered because he had all this information about the people and could have told on them or anything like that. I don't really know. The guy's a scumbag, and honestly, he should have had to sit there and rot for the things he done.
Exactly. Yeah. That's it just breaks my heart that little girls as young as 14 are getting subjected to that by just a sick, twisted fuck.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, not to probably want to get onto some lighter news, but
yeah, that's about as dark as I want to get with that topic.
Anybody listening that is in favor of him, fuck him. So that's just my 2 cents on
Fuck
him.
that guy.
Piece of shit.
Have fun rotting.
Exactly.
Dirt.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely get onto a little bit of lighter news. So, in the last 2 episodes of the podcast, we were keeping you guys up with all the current information about ASAP Rocky. And I believe actually on the 1st of this month too, ASAP was finally set free. It was August 2nd is when he was released from prison on his way home to the United States. He's already been released, followed by the 4-day trial where they basically found out that it was essentially just self-defense. Now, an exact verdict on the case will be announced on August 14th, so in the next 4 days. It says in the meantime, ASAP is set to perform alongside Cardi B, Future Amigos, in the Real Street Festival in Anaheim, California on the 12th. So we'll basically see the specific concrete verdict at that point, but at the end of the day, glad he's finally home. Glad he can finally take a little bit of time and relax. He was in there for a long time. So yeah, hopefully all goes well. I can see at the end of the day he'll probably have to pay some settlement fees and things like that, but I'm assuming if they let him go, he's not going to have to sit in the Swedish jail for the year or whatever they were going to mention beforehand.
Oh, I'm sure he'll have plenty of fees he's going to have to pay, but those record sales will help with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, at the end of the day, at least he is okay. And then on some...
he's not in prison anymore. Or jail.
Some very, very light news. We got a very hilarious video that was posted yesterday to Twitter of T-Pain getting into a street fight, I believe on the streets in New York. So I'll just play it for you guys, and I'll show you the hilariousness that it invoked.
That's not it. There it is.
So yeah, basically, nobody knows. At least I guess I haven't done enough research to see if it's entirely true or not. But he's just walking the streets, and 2 dudes come up to him, looking all aggressive. You see lightsabers in their hands. Somebody throws a lightsaber at T-Pain, and they he just starts beating the shit out of him. Gets one of the dudes on the ground, rips his fucking shoes off, and throws them behind them. Looks fucking hilarious. If it wasn't staged, that makes it even funnier, in my opinion. Just awesome.
Oh my goodness, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's at least from what everybody was saying, God bless T-Pain, and I'm entirely okay with that. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, having to type in street fight to see that video kind of concerned me for a minute there.
No, it was entirely PG, no blood or anything like that. I think with that though, I don't got anything else to spilge on at the moment. What I will say though is we have just created a SoundCloud. I will post a link for that in the description below. We also post podcasts to a website called Messy FM. We're gonna try to get more in the future. As for right now, those are just the two places where we go the most. We also have a Twitter, and we'll be making more socials as it goes on. I'll post all those links down below. Then to anybody watching the YouTube video, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, potentially ringing that notification bell if it's up to you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Do you got anything before we go, Brandon?
No, that's about it. You pretty much summed it all up.
All right, well, we love all of you. This has been a fat episode of Beans, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.